Welcome to Takshashila Gurukul channel. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe immediately, press the bell button and write your comments and feedback. Share with your friends as much as possible. We provide online Kundalini Raja Yoga initiation and Kundali activation in 6 months.
6. The sign of the unity of life, Shanmukha, who was pleased with Isha, without a voice, he listened to the Shruti speech, the two Jiveshakyas were filled with joy, Isha, in accordance with the Shruti of the same day, happily explained to Shanmukha the characteristics of the nature of life and the unity of the two. Ignorance in the form of emotions has been existing in the self, the one and only self, since time immemorial, as Nirupakyadanandadi, that is, inexpressibly, as Maya, and it plays with the feelings of being the Lord of life. But when seen with good conscience, Maya is an illusion. The Supreme Soul, which is the basis of the Adhyayame, is the truth. That is the only one. Only by experiencing it can one attain the attainment of the cavalier. 1. More slanderers than the Sadguru. Listen, my child, there are more slanderers than the Sadguru. First, one should salute the slanderers and then salute the Guru in return, because only if the Guru does a lot of devotion, liberation is achieved. There is no need to bribe the slanderers in the form of service. He is kind, without looking for an auspicious day. He is the one who gives liberation. Only the Sadguru finds a pure day and makes the liberated one. A mother puts the feces of a child in the garbage and throws it out once in a while out of boredom. Sadhus are like a child. The slanderers are more than the mother and father. They, without being bored with their tongues, turn the feces of the saints and good men, formalities, into honey with their mouths. Therefore, the slanderers are more merciful than the mother. Just as 10 pigs are purified by purifying the cesspool, in a village where there are 10 slanderers, one sadhu will go to the place of his slanderers, that is, he will achieve his goal by resolving his faults. That is, by criticizing the good people day after day, the critic will cut off the karma of the good. Therefore, you should greet the critic daily within your mind. Panchakosha Viveka, listen, O cave, as a part of your soul, there are 5 sheaths: food, life, mind, knowledge and bliss. These are visible. You are Brahman as always, you are a witness to the status of sheath. Just as the sword inside the sheath is different, it means that you are beyond the 5 sheaths, knowing the status. 1. Anamikosha description, O Kartike, there is an indescribable amount of grain medicine in the earth, which, after the grain, becomes food juice, then in women it becomes blood and in men it becomes semen, due to the glory of time. When food juice itself becomes bliss, men and women, afflicted with lust, embrace each other. In order for the male sperm to be established in the female womb, the Rajas of Sati stands there and ripens there day by day and, according to the season, it becomes a body and lights up. First the head emerges in the womb, then the limbs are born. Gradually, hair, fingers, and nails grow on them. Then 9 pores in the body are prepared. After 8 months and before 10 months, he falls to the ground as a human being. First, drinks milk from his mother's breast. He eats and swallows food to mature his body. He dies experiencing childhood, youth, and old age. He is reborn, and the school body, born of the blood of his mother and father and suitable for death, is called the food cell. The body is made up of pure and beautiful sinews, marrow, fat, hair, skin, and bones. Those who believe that this body, impure and imperishable with feces and urine, is their own are certainly ungodly. Giving such an impure body auspicious baths, visiting pilgrimages and villages, and adorning the body with the clothes and ornaments of the gods, and considering the body as their own, is the worldly way of life. They resolve to have this perishable body, good health, wealth, food, money, and the well-being of their wives and children, not knowing that these are all things that will cause them pain, and they consider the nourishment of their own body to be the goal. These wicked people, without knowing themselves, harm the world with them. The wise will laugh at such dull people who act like fools, thinking that their body is theirs. Only the wise will tell you that the sinful body has covered the soul like trees cover a mountain. The foolish will follow the worldly custom of wrong prevention, saying, "My body, my house." What is the relationship between you and the one who is the witness of you? What is the relationship between you, who is separated from the limbs and is the embodiment of good fortune, and the impermanent body? Enquire within yourself, you are the one who is filled with you inside and outside, you are the witness of you are the one who knows your own dharma, you are the one who examines your births and deaths and seeks treatment, you are the self-luminous, you are the self-luminous. The body, food, that is consumed is not the cell of the body is a dream-like pus, and the giver is the liberated one. 17. Rebuttal of the weak Shruti saying that food is Brahman. Since life originates from food itself, and lives, consumes, food and perishes in the earth where food grows, the weak Shrutis may say that food is Brahman. But the statement is far from experience. If food is called Brahman, then the food that is eaten now will spoil in an hour. The yogis have forgotten food in Samadhi. In such a case, what is the prestige of food? Tell me yourself. You are Brahman, food does not have Brahman, Brahman is in you. Therefore, the body that is considered a cell of food is not the soul, not you. The body is subject to generation and destruction. The soul is indestructible, witness to the changes of the body's sounds and feelings, eternally liberated. If you say, with deceit, that the body is Brahman, where was this feeling when the Brahman knowledge forgot the business of body and mind and became the whole Brahman, in the early stage? If food is Brahman, then Brahman also had to be destroyed. The food shell has become the school body. Why do you simply argue that this shell is Brahman? Refutation of the Charvaka religion, 23:2. Description of the Pranamaikosha. The Pranamaikosha is filled with the 5 organs of action and the 5 winds of life. These winds digest food and drink and divide the juice of food so that the body gains strength by consuming them. The wise laugh at the ignorant beings who think that such life is the soul and nourished life. The weak Shrutis praise the principle of prana itself, saying, prana is the 5 elements, material objects, the directions of the world, the thunder of clouds, ghosts and demons, mantras and medicines. From prana are the origin, state and dissolution of all beings in the world. Therefore, the Shrutis, in the Purvakanda, may have said that prana is * Brahma, soul. Prana is Brahmamati Vyajanat, but the statement is not correct. If air is filled in the skin, it can swell and move, but if a hole falls in that skin, it becomes useless. Similarly, the body moves to fill the skin called the body with prana air. But what is the eternally living and inert, definitely perishable prana, which is the source of prana? Therefore prana is not Brahman. The eternally moving and non-moving reality and eternal witness do not belong to prana except to Brahman, except to you. Yogis dissolve the life breath through kumbhaka. The soul has no dissolution, you are the eternal witness to the movements of the kumbhakas, the auspicious and the restful breath of pranayama. In sleep, the soul is inactive and does not know anything. There is no one else who knows the bliss of sleep except you. Therefore, decide that the soul breath is not the soul. That is, not you. 29:3. The mental cell, O son, the mind is troubled by doubt, imagining happiness and sorrow in things and wandering, in the 2 states of daydreaming, deluded by the benefits and losses of things. The mind's dharma is the mental cell. This mind is sometimes in knowledge, sometimes in ignorance, and sometimes in excessive knowledge and doubts, like a marmot that wanders, in the world, at its own will. This mind, born of doubt and living in doubt, has the moon as its presiding deity. There is no one at home. How is my wife? If I die tomorrow, who will take care of my wife and children? What misfortune awaits me in the future? The mind is experiencing sorrows on its own, thinking. This dharma is for the mental cell, but not for the soul. It is not the desire to experience happiness and sorrow in sleep. But even there the soul is devoid of the experience of the mind's happiness and sorrow, and is only in the bliss of the uncreated. Remember, in dreams, the mind wanders from the face of the senses to the field of objects, and is immersed in sorrow and attachment like a madman. Manasija, that is, lust, is born in the mind. The principles of knowledge and learning, many caste and caste distinctions are born in the mind, grow in the mind and again dissolve in the mind itself. Gods, Kinnaras, Siddhagishas, Garuda, Kimpurushas, humans, asuras, animals, serpents, atoms, great sages, ascetics and their fierce penance are all the mind. the city, the villages, the houses, the temple, the palace. The mind is the courtyard, the house of the gods, the god, the priest, the flower, the incense, the mantra. Everything is the mind. Overall, the three worlds are mind. The Shruti mentions that the mind is Brahman, so that the mind's range of thought may be complete. The mind is open, the soul is open, the mind is omnipresent, the soul is omnipresent in sleep. The mind is not aware, the soul is not aware of anything, the mind is Brahman, the soul, says the weak Shruti. Whatever the soul sees and hears, the mind sees and hears. The soul is the form of the world, and so is the mind. Therefore, there is no difference between the two. The Shruti hold the opinion that the mind is Brahman, Brahman as the mind. If the weak Shruti say this without properly investigating, my son, be sure that it is not true, because the mind that wanders in doubt among appearances is inert. You, Brahma, who know the nature of consciousness, how can the mind, which is born and dies momentarily, be given the status of Brahma? Did you not laugh at the great souls who saw the fools who, deluded that the mind is the truth and who act according to the will of the mind, act according to the will of the mind? Only when the seed of the soul's essence shines in the mind, does the mind acquire the seed of knowing external things. But if the awareness of the self is not reflected in the mind, for example, in sleep the mind has no name, the mind is inert, the mind is independent, self-illuminated. If it is understood that the mind is changeable, the self is changeless, and the mind is Brahman, then in the state of meditation of the yogis the mind should not have dissolved, but the yogis, due to the pratyahara and mental relaxations, stand in the state of Brahman and enjoy the pure bliss. Then how can the mind be the self? When you say that my mind is not well, the change of the mind is experienced by you, and the witnessing will naturally occur to you. Therefore, be sure that the mind-body and its dharmas are not you, not the self. 42.4 The sheath of knowledge, venerable. 1. The sheath of knowledge motivates the mind, it creates the feeling of being the doer and the eater, which leads to the passage of these and other worlds and makes assumptions, logic and conclusions. This shell is a mirror of the immaterial life. It is wider than the mental shell. Following this shell, the ascetics, with a sluggish mind, practiced devotional worship, yoga practice, worship, mantra, tantra, yaga, and mechanical sciences. With the results of these, they will get temporary happiness in this and other worlds. They will forget themselves, saying, the world is the goal of the saints in the hereafter, and will immerse themselves in the study of the scriptures. They will boast that they are superior in their achievements. Scientists will ignore the religious practices due to their worldly knowledge. Those who are fond of mantra, tantra, and knowledge will be busy in charity and devotion and will be devoted to bathing and toileting, neglecting the true devotees. Despite this, many people the science of knowledge is praised as great. The field of work of the science box, building beautiful houses with wisdom, thinking about hypotheses, correcting and teaching the mind when there is doubt in the mind, humbly agreeing if someone says that something is not suitable for you, listening to it and being happy when you hear that your virtue is great. When the doubt of, no, comes to the mind, indicating the right thing, etc., are included in the science box. The science box is a mirror for the gradual flow of devotion to the life of Chidabhasa. Science is the discernment of the Shruti called Brahma, atoms, the great trinity, the gods of Indra, the tiger, the wolf, the bear, the bird, the animals, the mountain, the lake, the future villages of the earth, the water, the cave of the Nivita, the cool forests, the earth, the bright air and the sky, the science of the moon, all these things are contained in the sheath of science. Science is the essence, it is the secret, it is the same three powers of knowledge, it is the same truth, it is the same three qualities, the Sanakadi group of sages, Kailasa, Vaikuntha, it is the same Yama, the same Asana, the same Ashtanga yoga, thus the Shrutis say that science is Brahman. Science is the umbrella, the palanquin, the sword, the dagger, the flower, the string, the base, the turai, the surrounding ornaments, the veena, the mridangam, the painting, all these are within the scope of the sheath of science. Therefore the weak Shrutis say that science is Brahman. But this belief is rejected, because transient science is inert. It is the knowledge of external things by being absorbed by the soul. The prestige of the self-illuminated soul is it for the inert mind. Science is illusion, myth, maya, imagination, its own. What is the relation between such an inert mind and the inert soul? The intellect is like a servant and Brahman, the soul, is like a king. The fear of a servant is not of the master. The intellect is subject to action, is full of foreign power and fear. The soul is independent, fearless. The intellect appears and hides moment by moment. The soul is eternal. The intellect is the soul. In the yogis who have realized the self, there should have been a struggle of the intellect, Chadabidi. If the intellect is called Brahman, do the great souls who are at peace with the word Nirguna say, Chi. When the sun shines in a mirror, that mirror also shines like the sun, and the rays reflected from its body can illuminate things instantly. In the same way, the soul is in the intellect to be reflected. The intellect also shines like the soul and, being inspired by the soul, can perceive external things with the blessed light. But just as the sun is not suitable for a mirror, so the intellect can never be in the bliss of the soul's own radiance. Just as a mirror is a means for seeing one's own face, like a minister of good advice in the presence of a king, so pure intellect is a means for the soul to remember its own form. O my son, do not know that knowledge is you, but decide that, I am Brahman. 56. 5. Anandamaya Kosha, O cave, the three cells of life, mind and knowledge, which have been described so far, are combined to form the subtle body. This is the work of ignorance, which is present in the form of inner self to the living entity. The mind, intellect and ego are the organs, or persons, of inner self. The mind, intellect and ego are the organs, or persons, of inner self. The mind, intellect and ego are the organs, or persons, of inner self. The mind, intellect and ego, which are pervaded by these four organs, appear to be closed. But the yogis of the form of mind are the witnesses of the dharmas of inner self and experience the contentless bliss that is beyond the subtle self. In the states of waking and dreaming, the living entity, tired of the various experiences of pleasure and pain in the world related to the subtle faculties, goes to sleep. In the unconscious state, the mental activities are absorbed in the state of ignorance, so that the wise life is like itself, that is, it is covered by the mode of ignorance, and it experiences the bliss of sleep. The blissful cell is the one in the state of sleep. This is the reason for the body. The blissful cell is the one that fills and contains the four cells mentioned earlier. O Marula, you listen. The characteristic of the blissful cell is the feeling of something that cannot be seen and cannot be described. I slept happily at home without knowing anything, he says in the waking state, remembering the blissful feeling he experienced in his sleep. Therefore, in the unconscious state, he is blissful, that is, he is sleeping comfortably, and only profound bliss shines within him. He is in the light of his bliss without any other idea. This cell of bliss is the mother place of everything, the entire subtle world is hidden within it, and all the deities and all the elements that you have imagined in your waking and dream state will dissolve in your sleep. All the guides, all the humans, animals, city creatures, all the three worlds will dissolve in you in your sleep. All scriptures, Sruti, Smruti, all actions, the cause of all mischief, all doubt, certainty, the trinity of authorship and defilement, all power, maturity, and formations are contained within oneself. The blissful cell is the state. Everything dissolves in oneself, and one exists alone, fearless, and in pure bliss. Therefore, the Sruti assert that the blissful cell is Brahman. There is no pride of self in sleep. There are no words to say or hear, since one is alone, hidden from the object mind. The Sruti says that the blissful cell is Brahman, but Brahman is beyond the blissful cell. The prestige of the word, blissful cell as Brahman, is inappropriate. If the cell is Brahman, why does the Brahman that appeared in sleep hide in waking dreams? The bliss of the knowledge of Brahman is continuous and eternal. If Brahman is the one who is unaware of anything in sleep, then did he have any illness there? Did the soul become lost in sleep like a person who cannot see the way in a dense forest? How can the blissful one who is unaware of anything in sleep become Brahman? Ignorant unconsciousness does not exist in the yogi's trance of knowledge. Just as a cloud in the sky covers and reveals the sun, so does the momentary bliss of ignorance, which is associated with darkness, appear and disappear in sleep. For example, even if a cloud born of the sun covers the sun, it is thought that there is no sun due to the sunlight, but how can a cloud be seen without sunlight? Similarly, when knowledge is lost, even if the bliss of sleep, which is caused by illusion, covers the soul, does it leave the awareness of the soul? Without the soul, the experience of sleep has no other state. How can the blissful cell that appears in the soul and hides there become the soul itself? For example, even if the smoke born in a fire does not make the fire itself visible, O cave, even if the blissful sheath born on your foundation covers you, the fire does not have the association of smoke. You, who are free from worry, do not have the association of this sheath. Be sure that you are Shankara, who has Maya in your grasp. For example, just as Rahu covers the sun during an eclipse, Rahu's anxiety does not have the slightest effect on Ravi, even if the darkness of sleep obscures the soul, which shines as the embodiment of happiness at all times. Due to karma, the soul shines with pure eternal bliss without the association of darkness and happiness of sleep. The awareness of waking and dreaming are different. The experience that is in one is not in the other. You alone are the witness of waking and waking states, and you are unsurpassed and blissful. Be assured that the wealth of knowledge that illuminates everything is yours. O Kartike, so far I have told you the wisdom of the five-shelled body. 61 Make it clear within yourself again and again that you are the Brahman beyond the five-shelled body. Do not tell this experience, the original secret of Vedanta, to those who are not authorized to know it. 73 O Kartike, do not doubt the Veda Sindhu, which teaches the truth alone. Now I will happily grant you the knowledge of the field, the beauty of the field, the wisdom of the letter by letter and the indirect and indirect knowledge. O Agnisambhava, with the good intention that your life will be broken, I will tell you the states of life such as the Vikshapa and the Vedas. Listen with a pure mind, then think within yourself. Knowledge of the field, knowledge of the field. Listen, my son, to the earth, the 5 elements, the 5 breaths, the 10 senses. The mind, intellect, consciousness, and the inner world, together with the mass of objects, are considered to be the field where the net of happiness and sorrow hangs and ends. The one who knows such a field is the knowledge of the field. He is the one who thinks of the inner soul of everything and is the carefree, eternally free, the true and most happy soul. Knowledge of letters, O brave one, there are 2 types of men in the world. The letter knowledge is the one who appears and hides in the form of all elements, and the letter knowledge is the one who is letter knowledge. He is the one who is free from sorrow, indestructible and spotless. There is another who is superior to both men, he is the Supreme Being, he is the Supreme Being, he is the one who is full of the worlds, secure, and eternally witnesses the Supreme Soul. Be sure that he is truly you. 79 Indirect knowledge. O my son, what comes directly to your experience is indirect, or direct, and what is hidden from you by the statement and hearing of others is indirect, which you believe in through the statement of others. Indirect knowledge is that which shines with its own light like a lamp that has passed behind the curtain. May you attain the realization of indirection. Vikshapa and Varana Shakti, the opposing power that creates and destroys the living beings of the world is the Varana, the evil power that does not allow the self to be known, the son of Dakshayani. This has covered the witness, Kutastha, with the power of ignorance. In this way, the eternal ignorance is manifested in 2 magical powers. From the state of knowledge, God arose, and from the state of ignorance, life arose. The bliss of knowledge shines in the form of happiness, but ignorance, by its arrogance, makes it difficult for it to be imitated, is the life. The life that is not there, by covering up the existing self, suffers and acts strangely, being the victim of ignorance. Life is like a field to be explored, like a daydream, like an empty and futile journey. By its arrogance, it forgets its true self, and by turning to ignorance, it passes away, dies, and enters the 6 realms, exclaiming, "This is my home, these are my wives and children." It thinks that the stages of childhood, youth, and old age of the body will not leave it. The body, which is covered with skin and bones, is a disgusting thing, a foul smell, a foul odor at that time. It seems as if even fire is being struck. In the same way, the soul in the body feels as if it has been struck by the body's roots and the sorrows of that body have infected it. It feels hot, saying, "I am a great sinner." It suffers, sinking and floating in the pit of doubt. It suffers as a little known soul. Having acquired both pleasure and pain, it goes to heaven and hell. When the fruits of its actions are paid off, it returns from the heaven to the earth. It is the good and the bad, it is the evil, it is the desire for fruit, it is the desire for good and evil, it is the desire for he cannot find a way to live. 90. Ashtapashas. Of the 8 gunas that are the abode of the living being, fear is a special one. Then there are virtue, vow, shame, pride in family, greed, doubt and boredom. These 8 shackles grow proudly and bind life like their base. Ashtamadas. The living being has 8 abodes, namely, youth, learning, form, clan, wealth, action, kingdom, and austerity, from which he is intoxicated and becomes arrogant. Saptipadelas, O self, listen to the 7 abodes of the living being. 1. He says that his body has become poor due to his abode. 2. He blinks due to mental abode, remembering the past and the future. 3. He is preoccupied with acquiring wealth due to greed. 4. He is preoccupied with protecting his home and his domain due to greed. 2. He is preoccupied with serving others due to greed. 6. He is preoccupied with the company of the sons of Sati due to greed. And 7. He is preoccupied with special recognition and power due to greed for kingdom. 96. Details of the 7 Varnas. 1. Avidya Varna. Knowledge is self-evident and he forgets his own self and embraces himself. Avidya is the beginning of the 6 Varnas mentioned below. 2. Vikshepa Varna. Forgetting his own nature and happiness and desiring other things. 3. Being always sad is Ksheshavarna. 4. Thinking with great doubt is Chintavarna. 5. Brahmavarna. Saying that I am a learned man who knows everything due to ego. 6. Knowledge is the difference between the 2 worlds, and is argued by the other caste. 7. He who is proud of his knowledge by the caste of education. The 8 elements in the religions of life that arise from their influence are earth, water, fire, air, sky, sun, moon, and all living beings are the 8 elements of God. The body grows in the amount of influence of the earth that the life gives to the life. The life becomes addicted to water and becomes interested in the world. The life is addicted to fire and is afflicted with the fever of sexual pleasure. The air is drunk and flies everywhere to get its head. The sky is drunk and wants an umbrella, a pair of sandals and a palanquin to increase its influence. He casts a shadow of anger on the sun, he thinks with doubt on the moon, and finally, he utters the arrogant statement that there is no one older than him to be cast into the soul, Atma Prasansa. Thus, the soul attributes to itself the qualities and dharmas of the 8 forms, and wanders here and there like dust and falls into misery. 101. Wisdom of the 5 elements. Ignorance, attachment, passion, hatred and attachment are the 5 elements that deceive the intellect. Ignorance is the state of forgetting one's own nature. The perception of one's own identity is the attachment. The desire for pleasure is the desire for pleasure, and the hatred for not being able to obtain pleasure. The attachment is the love of these 4 elements without knowing the unwholesome nature, and falling back in love with them again is the love of attachment. Son, how long can one describe the sufferings of life in the clutches of these afflictions? Life, without finding happiness even for a single day, wanders around in delusion for happiness. In the darkness of ignorance, one seeks happiness in things that are not the form of happiness. O cave, life, for many births, is reborn 1,000 times in the wombs of sorrow, wearing the robe of the sea, and suffering greatly. What can one describe to you the glory of ignorance? 105. The soul is free from the bonds of life. Yes, son, the soul is not bound by the bonds of life's happiness and sorrow. Just as the vibrations of water appear to be applied to the reflection of the sun rising in the water, does it experience those vibrations. In the same way, the soul is unattached and free from the bonds of life's deeds. It is in the open, it is filled everywhere. But it does not come close to the pot. In the same way, even though the soul is present in all bodies from the butterfly to Brahma, it is not attached to any body, not affected by the changes of the body, but shines with its own radiance, eternally and unfading. Even if the pot breaks, the space within it remains intact. The body is like a pot, the soul is like a space. Even if the soul suffers from birth and death in various births, the soul, which takes refuge in them, remains unattached. Even if it is bound to the sexes, the pure soul is eternally free and unbroken. 108. Explanation of the linga, subtle, body, I have told you before that the soul has three bodies, namely, the gross, the subtle and the causal. There are 25 elements in the gross body. There are 17 elements in the linga body. They are the 10 senses, the 5 vital forces, the mind and the ego. Listen, O hero, the body arose because the subtle elements of the subtle form of the mind and the subtle form of the soul were shining happily with the radiance of the soul. The subtle body is the reason for the soul and the dwelling places are the reason for the Lord. Like a disguised person, the soul assumes many types of bodies in births and births. It pretends to experience the pleasures and pains experienced by the sensual body. Being deceived by the illusion of the pussy, it dances and dances in the drama of samsara under its guidance and becomes hurt. The form of happiness forgets that it is itself, and the soul says that the affliction of the three bodies has befallen it. The body of the universe is covered like smoke to fire, and ketu to the sun, so the soul, the world-renowned soul, deals with itself in wakefulness. He has another name, Akhileshwara, but his entire life is a lie, just as a king, suffering from past troubles, forgets his lordship and lives in exile. Similarly, even though he is eternally transcendental, he goes mad from the association of the linga body, even though he is omniscient, and he suffers in a mere illusion as a wise man, even though the linga is felt in the eternal soul. The soul exists apart from its association, his eternal life is shattered with the fruits of the karma of the linga body. The happiness and sorrows. That great soul, who is limbless and all-witnessing, is unbroken and unbroken. There is no reason why the auspicious deeds of the linga body should affect his self-known glory. Just as a virtuous person feels that he has suffered loss due to evil association, so a supreme soul, the owner of idols, feels life only due to the association of the body of the body. But the soul never has the association of the body to contemplate the good. The Supreme Soul, who touches the happiness and sorrows of the body, enlightens the happiness and sorrows of the body. 115. Where there is water, the moon shines. When the water dries up, the moon remains in the sky. The self, who is called the beneficial consciousness, appears in the body. As soon as the body becomes false due to thought, the self is without association. When the visible body disappears, for example, in sleep there is only one eternal self. He shines in the body and becomes the life of the body. When the body of the lingam is destroyed, the life force disappears, and only the universal soul remains. For example, when the clouds block the sun, they say that the sun does not exist because of his light. But is the sun not there? No. Similarly, when the soul is hidden from the soul, they say, there is no soul, the soul is not visible, the soul is bound. They hide their hands from the eyes and say, the sun has set. When the soul's ignorance, ego, is hidden, does the soul not exist? Know that these words are the words of those who eat dust. Is the soul the perfect man? The one who is despised by the one-dimensional. If he first forgets his true nature and then says that he has realized himself in the presence of the Guru, then a soul must have both awareness and forgetfulness. The spell of lust is like this: understand in your mind, if you know that you are the Supreme Self without any difference, then you become the Supreme Self. What were you when you did not know it at first? Are there two souls, in knowledge and two in ignorance? In both knowledge and ignorance, he alone is full and shining. Be sure that knowledge and ignorance are karana dharmas. 121. Determination of the form of God. I will tell you the correct opinion of Shruti. Ask without any difference, the one soul became God through the practice of knowledge. There is no room for argument in this true statement that I am telling. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Sadashiva have all accepted themselves as the sole cause of creation, existence, dissolution and attainment of salvation. The Lord of all beings calls himself Brahma. The Vedas in vain rely on him as Brahma. Ask the true nature of God. He is the all-abiding one, all the worlds reside in him. The different worlds are his members. Men, beasts, Indra and all living beings depend on him. He is the Lord of the universe. By distinction of status, God is greater than the two Saguna deities, Virat and Swarata, who appear and hide in him. He shines with his own radiance in all three times. The eternally blissful soul is immovable. The witness of truth is the one who he is the eternal witness to the knowledge of the universe, the refuge of the Trinity, who were involved in the origin and origin of creation from the qualities of truth, Raja, and Tamo. For the pure mind, the qualities of knowledge, the qualities of Siddhi, knowledge, and omniscience arose. This intelligence is necessary for the care of disciples and the destruction of the wicked. O self, from the fire of the soul, the sparks called flames and the illusion called smoke were born. Intelligence is due to the quality of truth and illusion to the quality of darkness. Both are separate. Intelligence is also called the element of Brahman, and illusion is called the original knowledge. Mind is present in all bodies and has the ability to show, reflect, its true nature to the body. From Maya, like a two-faced mirror, the two faculties of knowledge and ignorance were born. The one who shone in the mirror of knowledge was called God, and the beings who shone in the mirror of ignorance were called contemptible beings in the world. It is as if a man had two names. The child is known, and the original Maya is known as knowledge and knowledge. There is only one Supreme Soul who permeates both and illuminates these two faculties. There is only one Supreme Soul, the Eternal One, who illuminates God, the consciousness devoid of knowledge, and life, the consciousness devoid of knowledge. He is the pure consciousness who knows without attachment. His form, Saguna, is the vastness and his abstract, Swayam Prakas Mahatisaya Swaratu. He is the eternal, Kartike. Ishvara is the passion form, acting in the form of Brahma and the Trinity. Ishvara has the ability to show Parabrahman as the truth. Only those who have received the grace of Ishvara are worthy of the grace of the Guru. These are the best in the world. They have pure beauty. 135. Determination of the Parabrahman form, which is the basis for the living being. Listen carefully, O wise man. The causal form of Vidya is the Sattva principle, in which the one who shines is Ishvara. The action form of Avidya is the impurity, in which the one who is reflected is the living being. But these two forms are binding like a twisted rope. Both the gods of life will suffer from this trap, since the poverty of begging is for life and the wealth of giving is for God, both will fall. If the knowledge of God and the ignorance of life are removed, only the Supreme Being, will remain. By the oath of Shiva, I, the Shanmukha, will tell the truth. Within time, there is the knowledge of life like an iron bracelet chain. There is the knowledge of God like a golden bracelet bedi. But what else are they but obstacles? Therefore, one who wants to know the true nature of happiness must overcome both these obstacles. Only then can the unbroken, unconditioned consciousness itself become the form of eternal bliss. I will explain through examples how the knowledge of the gods of life is different. If there is plenty of water, the image of the sun appears pure, and if there is little water, the same image appears tarnished. Although such a causal difference is found due to the defect in the quality of water, the real image of the sun has no coating defect. Similarly, in the Chidakasha, the Supreme Being, called Ravi, is free from these differences. Second example, for one border of clay, and for the other border of gold, the plane between both is the same. Although the commercial values of the two borders are different, only the sky, the refuge of both, is uncontaminated by the dirt and gold. Third example, in a stream flowing on the outskirts of the village, a Brahman on one side and a Chandala on the other side are washing their hands and face, and there are not one but two water. When the clouds pour rain, the same type of water falls on the ground. After that, according to the nature of the ground, its taste and color change. However, just as water is the same at the source, the all-pervading soul, although it shines as a living being, is not a real thing, but a verbal Sutaka. If someone is told that the Sutaka has come, he will be the Sutaka in words and that the Sutaka is false. There is a tradition of sending a dead Sutaka falsely when the paper is touched, he will be as pure as before. Similarly, the difference between living beings is the verbal Sutaka. The distinctions in speech, formal, are not to be confused with the fact that the Supreme Brahman, the Upadhihara, is inherently unbroken, eternally perfect. 143. Explanation of the Tattvamasi Mahavidya. Son, listen attentively to the Tattvamasi statement given in the Samaveda. Tat means that Supreme Soul. Tvam means you, Asi means that you exist. In truth, the Supreme Soul and you are one and the same. This is the opinion of Shruti. The bodily phenomena, which are composed of sorrow, delusion, birth and death, are the literal meaning, or the main meaning practically, of the word tat. The literal meaning of the word tat is to think that there is a Jagadish for the world of many different forms in the external world. The ascetic who is content with the principle should remove the apparent contradictions in the literal meaning of these two words and understand the meaning of the word, asi, which is uncontradictory and uncreated, teaching oneness. The difference between the life essence, TVAM, and the Shiva essence, Tat, that appears from a formal perspective is rejected as false, and the word, Asi, teaches the unity of the Shiva beings. The word Asi, which teaches oneness in the apparent multiplicity, is considered to be the founder of the origin or the devourer of demons. The supreme authority who understands the ultimate meaning of this great word in his pure heart with a searching intellect becomes the pure Brahma, the eternally blissful, perfect, and undefiled. The difference between the Shiva beings is only in words, there is no difference in reality. There is only one Brahma, sin, virtue, bondage, moksha have come from words. A man is first a celibate. In the middle, he is a worldly man, and then a monk, and if he calls himself one Brahman, the living Shiva, is there anyone else in one? The word, two, is very false, and the soul is bound by two things. From the association of the faculties of knowledge and ignorance, the name Shiva, the living being, is born, and he enjoys the desired fruits of liberation and bondage. But there is only one auspicious soul, who is the refuge of both faculties, and there is no disruption to him. He is unbroken, indestructible, unchangeable, and unbound, the Parabrahman who is as vast as the sky. Illustration of the Oneness Teacher 1. If the image of the sun shines in dirty water and in clean water, is the evil of dirty water and the happiness of clean water attached to that image of the sun? For the soul to shine in the other sciences, do the pleasures and pleasures of the ranks belong to the eternally pure and unattached soul? 151.